Veshik just bought a condo for his parents, and he wants to put some lights and ceiling fan on. What I don't like about the old houses and condos in America is they don't actually have lights. This switch controls that outlet that's supposed to have a standing lamp. There's no lights in this room. That's just a work light I put on there. So um, my plan is to install a fan here and 6 recess lights in this room, and same thing for the other rooms. So that's going to be the living room. This is bedroom 1. Same thing, fan goes in the middle, and 4 recess light here. And this is going to be the bedroom 2. Same logic, fan and 4 recess lights. I have never done this before. I did electrical work, but never really did drywall stuff. I saw this guy in TikTok who does really nice job where he pulls all the wires without making any holes, any extra holes. Well, I don't have that kind of skills. So I marked down where all the studs are and where I'm gonna make holes. And I'm going to cut straight across here and then fill it in with drywall. Same thing. This room's gonna have 3-way switch right here and there. All the switches gonna be Wi-Fi controlled. The good thing is Veshik's planning on painting the whole condo. So all I have to do is fill in all the holes I'm gonna make, and that should be it. I measured out everything, and I am confident I can get all these holes I'm about to make all patched up, because I have total of 1-time experience, meaning I did drywall once before. So sure, this will turn out perfect. There's gonna be Wi-Fi switches here. So before any of that, I have to replace this dated circuit breaker box with a new one. So I'm gonna do that first. Update on the light switches and the fan switches. I ran into a problem. I didn't know the drywall doesn't touch the beam. So all the measurement I took are pretty much useless. And I can't use a stud finder to make that work. I was able to drill some hole, but I had to cut more for because I don't have a way to drill a hole. I can patch it up. I know how to do that, I think. I can run that. I hated the old fixture, so I had to cut that open. So originally I didn't want to do any mudding, but I'm going to have to do it, but still doable. I finally made the hole for light switch. Even though it's supposed to be exactly 4-inch, it's not. It's actually 4 1/4. I am using this device and it worked out very well. I'm a big fan of this. I used it total of 1 time and I already like it. So that's in the bedroom 1. Bedroom 2, same thing. The studs are not touching the drywall, and it's got metal frame on top of the drywall. So that's why my measurements are all wrong. I marked them 24 inches apart, and that's where the metal studs are going, not wooden stud. This one already has a hole going up to the ceiling, so that will make my life a little bit easier, I hope. The bad news is I don't know where to put the fan now, because I have to find where the stud is. But I did one thing that I'm somewhat proud of. I have to have two separate switches here, not in a two gang switch, but separate. I was able to do a 90-degree hole into the wall, and to get the power from this switch, and I successfully pulled this into the box without cutting a hole. So I'm a little bit proud of that. So far the work is going well, and I have to do a lot more cutting, but I'm looking forward to it. So I just installed that. Looks professional. I'm happy with it. I just realized I gotta put this loop-de-loop thing in there. But anyway, Veshik and I are always yelling at each other. The reason we have two different hole, by the way, I made this hole with this Dremel tool. I really like it. Oh, one of the tooth fell off. Anyway, here's why I have to make two separate holes. Because he wants the light, the fan switch, to be this, and that has to go on its own. It can't be next to another switch. So that's why I have to make them separate. And the reason I yell at him all the time and getting mad at each other is these are all the recess light. These are all the fan switches, I think, and that's a 3-way switch. And for some reason, he ordered this switch, which I told him not to do, and extra motion sensor switch. I told him I needed 2. He ordered 2 boxes, so he has to order 1 box. 2 comes in a box, and a dozen 12 of these Wi-Fi outlets, and I'm not installing a single outlet. And he says, you told me to order this. I didn't, because I'm not touching the outlets. They have nothing to do with the lights I'm installing or the fan. And that's why I've been yelling at him, and he's been getting mad. Fun times. Well, I kicked him out. He's out there cleaning his car because his car is a mess. Give him a hard time for that too. Anyway, so work is going well, and we're moving on. So far, we got this all for the switches. I had to make some cuts to run the wires. Made the holes, ran all these wires. Had to cut more holes there. And now I'm ready to install the lights. These also have I think a firewall right in the middle of the ceiling. So I had to go around that. That was very painful. Let me see if I can show that. I have to turn the camera to show that. Right there is the wood. Show that. There is the firewall. So that was difficult, but all the holes are made and wires are run. Have hole for the outlet, made hole for the kitchen light, made hole for the bedroom 1. There's 4 holes. I'm gonna have to do the ceiling fan hole later. Showed this already. That was a pain. And more holes. I have to run the wires, then install the lights. Same story with the fan. We'll do that later. For the living room, the light switch is installed. Wires are run. The lights are on. So is the fan. They're the LED control. Here's the fan. It's not assembled yet, but those are the lights. It looks good. Just ran all the wires in bedroom 1, and so far this is the cleanest job because all the holes lined up easily, relatively easily, and I got lucky with that hole. I knew that measurement was useless because of the metal hangers. I made a hole here, and there's a beam going straight across right here, so I can hang the ceiling fan right there. So that worked out very well. The lights are installed in bedroom 1, waiting for the ceiling fan and the switches. In bedroom 2, the wires are pulled for the lights and the ceiling fan. That was the hardest one to find, a proper support to hang the ceiling fan. And now just gotta install the switches. In the kitchen, the wires are pulled, and time to install the switches. I'm also relocating switches from this side, moving it into the other side. Kitchen light is installed. So is the switches, which I moved from this side. I'll fix up that hole later. Finished installing the lights in the second bedroom. The fans are not delivered yet, but I already started filling in the holes, making perfect cuts, and installing the switches. As far as the tool I used a Dremel oscillating saw to make all these square cuts. It worked out very well. I used a wood blade. I broke the wood blade, so I'm using the metal blade now. And to make the holes, I used this adjustable hole saw. This worked very well. The hole actually needed to be 4¼ inch for these 4-inch lights, and I knew I couldn't find a regular 4¼ inch regular hole saw. So even though they're called 4-inch lights, a 4¼ inch hole makes perfect fitting for it. Trying to fill the gap in with drywall, but I filled in the edges for an airtight seal. I'm going to do it on top too, but I don't know if you're supposed to do it in the bottom. I'm doing it, and I filled it in more here because I had to cut a little bit off here because it was raising up too high. So here it goes. I'm going to fit that in with 2 hands, but looks pretty good to me. This went on real nice. Now I'm just going to fill in the gap. This one's not bad either. Again, I gotta put some mud on it.